The night was cold and silent inside the Earth's Deep Space Command Center. Admiral Hyun Park sat alone, her dark eyes reflecting the soft blue glow of holographic star maps. Around her, massive screens displayed complex data streams tracking alien fleet movements across multiple star systems. For years, humanity had been treated like an insignificant species by the Galactic Council. Small colonies were constantly pushed to the edges of explored space, resources were restricted, and trade agreements were designed to keep humans economically suppressed. But Hyun knew something the aliens didn't. Humans were patient, and more importantly, they were preparing. Her team of engineers and strategists had been working in absolute secrecy. Underground research facilities spread across Mars, Europa, and hidden lunar bases were developing technologies that would change everything. Each breakthrough was carefully documented, each prototype tested with meticulous precision. Wu Xin, her chief intelligence analyst, entered the room with a datapad. His face was serious, almost grim. "The latest reports from the Callisto mining colony are concerning," he said, placing the pad on the holographic table. Red markers indicated increasing alien patrol activities near human settlements. Hyun understood the subtle message. The alien civilizations believed humans were vulnerable, weak, and easily manipulated. They thought their technological superiority would always keep them in control. But beneath the surface, humanity was building something extraordinary. Her mind drifted to the secret fleet being constructed in deep space shipyards, massive vessels with quantum entanglement capabilities, stealth technologies that could render entire armadas invisible, and weapons that could dissolve planetary infrastructures in moments. Each ship was a testament to human innovation and resilience. The recent destruction of human settlements had not gone unnoticed. Small colonies systematically targeted, settlers killed, and diplomatic channels repeatedly ignored. The Galactic Council's bureaucratic systems were designed to suppress human complaints and maintain the current power structures. But Admiral Park had a different plan. Her team had been collecting data, analyzing alien weaknesses, and preparing a response that would shock the entire galaxy. Every technological breakthrough, every secret research project was leading to this moment. Humanity was no longer going to be a passive recipient of galactic politics. Wu looked at her, understanding the intensity in her eyes. "The final simulations are complete," he said quietly. "Our quantum disruptor prototypes have passed all testing phases." Hyun nodded. The weapons they had developed were unlike anything seen before. Traditional energy shields would become meaningless. Planetary defenses would crumble, and alien civilizations would realize that humans were not a species to be underestimated. Outside the command center, the Earth continued its rotation, unaware of the massive transformation about to unfold. Millions of people went about their daily lives, working, studying, living, completely oblivious to the strategic plans being crafted in this very room. The secret fleet was more than just a military asset. It was a statement, a declaration that humanity would no longer accept being marginalized, pushed around, or treated as a lesser civilization. Every technological component, every calculated strategy was a message to the galaxy. "We're ready," Hyun whispered, more to herself than to Wu. The preparation had taken decades. Quiet, methodical, precise. Resources diverted, brilliant minds recruited, technologies developed in absolute secrecy. Now everything was about to change. The aliens would never see it coming. As the holographic screens continued to flicker with intricate data patterns, Admiral Hyun Park allowed herself a slight smile. The galaxy was about to learn a very important lesson about humanity. We might seem small, we might appear weak, but we are anything but defenseless. The silent preparation was complete. The first phase of their plan was ready to be executed. The research facility looked like an ordinary building. From the outside, buried deep beneath the Martian surface, it hummed with an energy that no outsider could detect. Hyun Choi walked between rows of complex machinery, her fingers trailing across holographic interfaces that seemed to breathe with technological life. Years of work had led to this moment. What began as a simple research project into quantum communication had transformed into something far more revolutionary. Yoon understood that true technological breakthrough wasn't about single moments of inspiration, but persistent, patient development. Her team consisted of the most brilliant minds humanity could gather: engineers who had been rejected by traditional scientific communities, programmers who saw beyond conventional thinking, and physicists who believed in pushing boundaries. They were misfits, dreamers, and ultimately, humanity's hidden hope. The quantum entanglement communication network they were developing could do something previously considered impossible. It could transmit information instantaneously across vast cosmic distances, create communication channels that were completely undetectable, and provide strategic advantages that would redefine warfare. Jae Kim, the lead quantum physicist, approached with a complicated set of calculations. His hands moved rapidly across the holographic display, showing complex mathematical models that seemed to dance and shift like living organisms. "We've cracked the final layer of quantum encryption," he said, his voice calm but filled with excitement. What they were creating wasn't just a communication system. It was a complete technological ecosystem that could render entire fleets invisible, communicate without any possibility of interception, and provide strategic insights that would make traditional intelligence gathering look like child's play. The stealth technology they were developing could bend light, manipulate quantum signatures, and essentially make massive spaceships disappear from any scanning system. Traditional alien detection methods would become completely useless against these innovations. Yoon remembered the countless failures. Prototype after prototype that had collapsed. Experiments that had seemed promising but ultimately resulted in nothing. Scientists less committed would have given up years ago. But they understood something fundamental. Every failure was just another step toward success. The planetary destruction capabilities they were designing were not just about weapons. They were about precise, calculated responses. Weapons that could systematically dismantle infrastructure, destroy communication networks, and render entire civilizations helpless without massive collateral damage. Outside the research facility, Mars continued its silent rotation. Red dust storms occasionally swept across the landscape, hiding this incredible work from any potential observers. Humanity's most significant technological leap was happening in complete secrecy. Each component they developed was a puzzle piece. The quantum communication networks, the stealth technologies, the molecular disruptor prototypes, they were all interconnected. One breakthrough supported another, creating a technological ecosystem more complex and powerful than anyone could imagine. Jay walked over to a massive holographic simulation that showed potential deployment scenarios. Entire alien fleet movements could be predicted, tracked, and neutralized before they even understood what was happening. It wasn't just about having superior technology. It was about having technology so advanced it seemed like magic. "We're ready for the final test," Jay said, looking at Yoon. She nodded. The test would simulate a complete fleet deployment using their new technologies. If successful, it would prove that humanity had developed capabilities far beyond what any alien civilization believed possible. The room grew tense. Dozens of scientists watched the holographic displays, their breathing almost synchronized. Years of work, countless sleepless nights, massive investments, and unwavering belief were about to be validated. As the simulation began, something extraordinary happened. The virtual human fleet didn't just perform well, it demonstrated capabilities that seemed to defy the known laws of physics and strategic engagement. Yoon allowed herself a small smile. The technological breakthrough wasn't just a scientific achievement, it was a statement. A declaration that humanity was ready to take its place among the stars, not as a minor species, but as a force to be reckoned with. The Callisto mining colony looked like a graveyard when the first reports came in. 12,000 settlers, men, women, children, turned to ash in moments. Alien warships had struck without warning, leaving nothing but smoking debris and silent communication channels. Admiral Hyun Park received the news in complete silence. Her fingers moved across the holographic display, tracking the brutal attack with cold, calculated precision. This wasn't just an attack. This was a message. The alien civilizations believed humanity was weak, vulnerable, and unable to respond. They were wrong. Deep in hidden quantum-masked staging areas, the secret human fleet began to activate. Massive ships that had been invisible to every known scanning technology suddenly hummed with energy. Each vessel represented years of secret development, technological breakthroughs that would redefine interstellar conflict. J. Kim's quantum communication network lit up. Encrypted channels transmitted deployment coordinates with impossible speed. No alien communication system could intercept or understand these signals. It was like watching a ghost prepare for battle. The first wave of ships emerged near the alien homeworld of Kirillin X. They didn't announce themselves. They didn't send warnings. They simply appeared, like shadows materializing from absolute darkness, plasma quantum, disruptors charged. These weren't traditional weapons. They were molecular destruction tools that could dissolve entire metropolitan regions faster than the speed of human thought. Energy shields that had protected alien civilizations for centuries became nothing more than transparent glass. Admiral Park's voice was calm when she gave the final command. Initiate complete system neutralization. The strike was surgical. Not a single unnecessary explosion, not a moment of wasted energy. Human ships moved with mathematical precision, targeting communication networks, power grids, critical infrastructure. It wasn't just about destroying military capabilities. It was about systematically removing the ability to resist or retaliate. Alien defense systems tried to respond. Massive weapon platforms activated, attempting to track the human fleet. But, by the time their targeting systems engaged, entire city complexes had already been reduced to molecular dust. Wu Xin, monitoring the entire operation, watched in near disbelief. The technological superiority wasn't just impressive, it was revolutionary. Humanity had transformed from a marginalized species to a strategic nightmare in moments. The planet of Kirillin, once a symbol of alien technological supremacy, began to crumble. Massive infrastructure collapsed. Communication networks died. Planetary defense systems became nothing more than expensive scrap metal. What made the strike truly terrifying was its cold efficiency. No unnecessary destruction, no emotional revenge. This was a calculated response, a precise message that humanity would protect its own regardless of the cost. Within hours, the alien homeworld was neutralized. Not destroyed completely, but rendered completely helpless. No communication, no infrastructure, no ability to coordinate or respond. It was a fate worse than total destruction. It was complete strategic defeat. Admiral Park watched the final reports come in. Her expression remained unchanged. This wasn't about victory. This was about sending a message that would echo through every corner of the galaxy. "We are not who you think we are," the action said. "We are not weak. We are not vulnerable. We are humanity." The secret fleet began to disappear as quickly as it had arrived. Quantum entanglement technologies made tracking impossible. It was like they had never existed, except for the massive systematic destruction left behind. Alien civilizations would spend years trying to understand what had happened. How could a species they had consistently marginalized and underestimated deliver such a precise, devastating response? The answer was simple. Humanity had been preparing. Quietly, patiently, methodically. The Galactic Council chambers erupted in chaos. Holographic displays showed the complete destruction of the Kirillin X homeworld, and no one could believe their eyes. Representatives from dozens of alien civilizations stared in stunned silence, their sophisticated communication devices suddenly feeling primitive and useless. Wu Xin watched the diplomatic meltdown from a hidden monitoring station. Humans had always been considered a minor species, technological infants in the grand scheme of galactic politics. Now, everything had changed in a matter of hours. The Corlan ambassador, typically composed and arrogant, trembled as he reviewed the attack footage. Entire planetary systems had been neutralized with such precision that it seemed almost impossible. No weapon signatures, no traditional attack markers, just complete, systematic destruction. "How?" whispered the Zintok representative, her tentacles quivering with fear. How could humans do this? Communication channels across the galaxy became a storm of confusion, terror, and disbelief. Every alien civilization that had ever marginalized, restricted, or attacked human settlements was now wondering the same thing. What had they unleashed? The destruction wasn't just military. The human strike had systematically dismantled communication, networks, power infrastructures, and planetary defense systems. It was a surgical strike that demonstrated a level of technological superiority no one had anticipated. Diplomatic channels buzzed with panicked transmissions. Emergency meetings were called. Intelligence agencies from multiple civilizations began searching for any information about human technological capabilities, but there was nothing. No previous indication. No warning signs. Hyun Park had planned this perfectly. The strike wasn't just an act of revenge. It was a calculated message. Humanity was no longer a species to be ignored or controlled. The holographic displays continued to show the devastating results. Where once a thriving alien world existed, now only remnants remained. No massive explosions, no total destruction, just a complete systematic shutdown of an entire planetary civilization. Some representatives began to understand the true horror. This wasn't about destroying a planet. This was about showing what humanity could do if provoked. A demonstration of capabilities that went beyond traditional warfare. The Galactic Council's bureaucratic systems, which had for years marginalized human interests, now seemed pathetically inadequate. Protocols that had controlled and limited human expansion suddenly looked like children's games. Wu Xin allowed himself a slight smile. Years of preparation, decades of quiet technological development had led to this moment. Humanity had transformed from a footnote in galactic history to a major strategic threat in a single operation. Communication attempts to human authorities went unanswered. No explanations, no diplomatic communications, just silence. The mysterious attack spoke more loudly than any formal statement could. Alien intelligence agencies began desperate searches. They reviewed every piece of human technological data, every previous interaction. But there was nothing that could have predicted this level of strategic capability. The shock wasn't just about the attack. It was about the complete understanding that humanity had been preparing this for years, quietly, patiently, with a level of strategic thinking that went beyond traditional military concepts. Some representatives began to realize the true implications. If humans could do this to one planetary system, what could they do to others? The entire concept of galactic power dynamics had just been rewritten. The Zintok representative, her voice trembling, summarized what everyone was thinking. Humanity is no longer a minor species. They are a major threat. As emergency meetings continued, one thing became crystal clear. The galaxy would never look at humans the same way again. The silent, marginalized species had just shown its true potential, and the message was terrifyingly simple. Do not underestimate humanity. Bree. Galactic power structure had just been completely transformed and no one saw it coming. The transmission came without warning. Every communication channel across the galaxy suddenly flickered, replacing ongoing discussions with a single holographic image. Admiral Hyun Park stood alone, her uniform crisp, her expression calm and unreadable. Behind her, glimpses of advanced technology suggested a command center more sophisticated than anything any alien civilization had ever seen. The background hummed with an energy that felt both dangerous and precise. "I am Admiral Hyun Park of the United Human Stellar Defense Force," she began, her voice clear and without emotion. "What happened to the Kirill X homeworld is not an act of aggression. It is a warning." Billions of beings across multiple star systems watched in complete silence. The woman who had just demonstrated humanity's most terrifying technological capabilities looked almost calm, as if discussing a routine diplomatic matter. For decades, Human colonies have been marginalized, attacked, and systematically restricted, she continued. Trade agreements designed to suppress our growth, territorial limitations imposed without consideration, settlements destroyed with no consequences. The holographic transmission showed quick sequences of human colonies that had been attacked, mining settlements, research outposts, civilian zones reduced to ash by various alien civilizations. Each image was a silent testimony of past brutalities. "We are not seeking conquest," Park stated. "We are ensuring survival. Any civilization contemplating aggression against human interests will understand one fundamental truth. We will respond. Completely. Efficiently. Without hesitation." The message was crystal clear. This wasn't a threat. This was a declaration of a new galactic reality. Alien diplomatic representatives watched in shock. The human admiral wasn't just delivering a warning. She was redefining the entire power structure of interstellar relationships. No apologies. No diplomatic niceties. Just a cold, calculated statement of capabilities. Wu Xin, watching from the monitoring station, understood the brilliance of the communication. It wasn't about destroying civilizations. It was about creating a new understanding of humanity's position in the galaxy. The transmission continued, showing glimpses of human technological capabilities. Quantum communication, networks, stealth technologies that could render entire fleets invisible, weapons that could dismantle planetary infrastructures in moments. "We do not want war," Park said, "but we are prepared for any scenario. Our technological capabilities have been developed not for aggression, but for protection. Remember this moment. Remember this warning." The holographic image showed multiple star systems with human colony markers expanding, not through military conquest but through strategic positioning, a silent demonstration that humanity was no longer content with marginalization. Representatives from the Galactic Council watched in stunned silence. The woman delivering the message looked almost serene, as if discussing a routine administrative matter. No anger, no emotion, just pure calculated communication. "To those who have respected human colonies, who have treated us with fairness, this message is not for you," she added. "To those who have seen us as weak, as a species to be controlled or eliminated, consider this your only warning." The transmission lasted exactly 7 minutes. Not a second more, not a second less. When it ended, it left behind a galaxy in complete shock. No follow-up communications, no additional explanations, just a warning. Clear, precise, terrifying in its simplicity. Humanity had arrived, and the galaxy would never be the same again. As communication channels slowly returned to normal, one thing became absolutely clear. The rules of interstellar engagement had just been completely rewritten, and humanity was now writing those rules. The HFY, silent, marginalized species, had shown its true face, and it was nothing like anyone had expected.